Good morning. Good morning. Today, with the ringing of our peace bowl, we affirm our collective hope for peace. Peace in Gaza, peace in Syria, in the world. Peace here at home in Minnesota and within ourselves. We acknowledge that these lands that we love are the unceded ancestral lands of the Yavapai people. We honor those peoples who stewarded this land for countless generations. We'll be opening the service with gathering music sung by our Granite Peak singers and led by our guest director, Wayne Wright. An accomplished keyboard player and singer. Wayne was raised as a Quaker in New York, but has called the Prescott home for 12 years. He recently retired as choir director at Unity of Prescott after 9 years. He's an avid road cyclist who loves the outdoors. So let's welcome Wayne, and as we hear the choir singing our gathering music. Thank you, and thank you, Chris. I didn't realize we were going to be blessed with a flute player today. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Suki Jones, your worship associate this morning. Our minister, the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, is at a ministerial conference this week. So this morning we are happy to welcome once again back to our pulpit the Reverend Becky Gunn, this is the first time she's seen this wonderful place since we've done it, so she's quite excited to be here with us all. She's a retired UU minister and enjoying life here in Prescott, where she's active in many areas of the community, including AAUW and in leadership at Ollie, as well as teaching Ollie courses at Yavapai College. Today, she will be encouraging a practice of simplicity. So, a big welcome to you all. If any of you are visiting with us for the first time or are kind of newish still, I invite you to raise your hand. And the people around you, please give these folks a big smile, a big welcoming smile. I'm not going to ask you to stand up and introduce yourselves, but thank you for being here. We are glad you are here, whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whether you walked in or rolled in or zoomed in, whichever your pronouns, whomever you love. You are welcome here. You belong here.
We begin our service in the Unitarian Universalist tradition of lighting a chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Jack Bennett. Today we light the chalice with these words. We light this chalice to welcome all who enter our spiritual home. We light this chalice to pause in our daily lives and appreciate the simple beauty within each and every day. We light this chalice to recognize that simple lives allow room for us to grow ethically, spiritually, morally. We light this chalice to recognize that we are, at heart, people filled with love and joy. We speak today of living simply. One of the first Americans to advocate living simply is Henry David Thoreau. He said, "I do believe in simplicity. It is astonishing as well as sad how many trivial affairs even the wisest think he must attend to each day." When the mathematician would solve a difficult problem, he first frees the equation of all encumbrances and reduces it to its simplest terms. So, simplify the problem. Distinguish the necessary and the real. Probe the earth where your main roots run. This morning, let us consider what is essential to our hearts and minds and souls. I would ask you to rise in either body or spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 352, Find a Stillness.
Please join with me. Oh, excuse me. Stewardship moment. Please join with me in viewing our stewardship moment by Kelsey Wilkes. Yes, don't forget to join us after the service. All you new people, we have wonderful coffee and goodies afterwards, which maybe Kelsey is going to tell us about.
Since coming to Bridget Feet, I have truly enjoyed working with the people who make this community so special. Reverend Michelle has been a steady and kind presence here at work. I feel very privileged to work alongside her. I am also deeply grateful for the staff and volunteers whose dedication and care are evident.
Kelsey, you want to just come up here and talk to us? There she is.
Good morning, Grand Creek community members and friends. I am Kelsey Wilkes, she, her. Some of you know me from my service as a worship associate here on Sunday mornings. And some of you may have met me at a membership gathering, a solstice service, or maybe even Mahjong and the annual auction. Maybe a stewardship visit or a social justice event like Empty Bowls. I have been an active member of Trinity since 2016 and joined my first union congregation in Virginia in 1998. I was drawn to the UU principles because they match my values. I treasure this congregation because it is where I found my people. I also appreciate being part of the events going on at Trinity. There's so much going on here, and we have such a vibrant community. I am proud to pledge what I can each year to the stewardship campaign for operating expenses. It's a privilege to be a steward and accept pledges from other grant keepers. In the upcoming stewardship canvas, please be as generous as you can. Every dollar helps us fund the programs at Grand Peak. All pledges matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Y'all can talk to Kelsey afterwards. So please now join with me in saying the words to our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth its sacrament, and service its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant together. As we prepare to receive the offering this morning, may we find ways to bring more love and joy into the world. And one of those ways is through our Seeds of Support program. This month's recipient is PRISM Network, providing support and resources to the LGBTQ community in northern Arizona. You may remember them by their previous name, the Greater Yavapai County Coalition, GYCC, we used to call them, and we have supported them for many years. Their services include support groups, suicide prevention, community resources and referrals, resources specific to transgender and gender diverse people, and LGBTQ plus events and education. If you would like to contribute online, visit our website at prescottuu.org. The ushers will now collect the offering, and let us remember that your generosity is what supports this congregation and its activities. acknowledge the generosity of spirit expressed through this offering. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be.
Let us move into a moment of meditation. Please get comfortable in your chair, your feet on the floor, grounded to the earth. And if you feel like it, gently close your eyes as I read these words by Elena Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is to be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. Try just to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy.
As we continue this time of meditation and music, we take a few moments to silently acknowledge the joys and concerns on our hearts and minds. If there is an event that moves you to joy or concern, hope or gratitude, grief or remembrance, you are invited to come forward and drop a pebble into our communal water, letting those intermingling ripples serve as a reminder of our connection to one another. Our hearts are with Stephanie Willison, whose father passed away yesterday. And I will drop the first pebble as we all join in spirit to support those who are terrorized by ICE throughout our country. Let us share our love with the victims of abuse by immigration officials. let us sing together, Spirit of Life. The space between events is where most of life is lived. Those half-remembered moments of joy or sadness, fear or disappointment are merely beads of life strung together to make one expanding necklace of experience. The space between events is where we grow old. From sunrise to sunset, one day lives as another day emerges from the fluid womb of dawn, the first bead strung upon the everlasting thread of life. The space between events is where knowledge marries beauty. In quiet reflection, we remember only the colored outline of events, the black and white of war, the rosiness that surrounded our first love. The space between events is why we go on living. The laughter of a child or the sigh of wind in a canyon become the music we hear expanding in our hearts each time we gather one more bead of life.
Thank you. Over a century ago, Henry David Thoreau said, "Simplify, simplify." I'm thinking that in this fractious world, perhaps these words have more importance today than ever before. Is your day filled with musts and shoulds, with worries, with busyness beyond belief? I ask the question, in those busy, I should do such and such, busy days, are we focused on what gives us joy and meaning? For most of us, the answer is we are not focused on what is meaningful and joyful. I try to live a focused life, but in reality, I spend far too much time on tasks that don't feed my soul. For instance, this is a small one, but when I sermonize, I always worry about if I look ministerial. What do I wear? How do I accessorize? Do I wear a stole that day? You know, that's really silly, because what I say matters far more than how I look. How do we move to a simpler, less complicated life? I'm basically going to make a single suggestion, but know that this process is actually an individual process. You will have to figure out how to move forward to a more focused, attentive life yourself. In large part, instead of focusing on how to get to a simpler life, this message will really focus toward the end on why we want to get there, the why of why we want a simpler life. Most experts say that moving toward simplicity requires a great deal of introspection, reflecting on what is most important in your life. Many define this process as simply setting priorities, cutting out the extraneous and paying attention to what is most resonant and meaningful in your lives. Many also define it as making our lives more sustainable. Now, what does sustainable mean? Is it about energy? Is it about our environment? Is it about relationships? Is it about our passions? Is it about our work ethics? Is it about our sense of who we are and why we're here? The answer is all of the above. In order to make our life sustainable, we must first ask what makes us whole, what makes us joyful. Then we take that first step, official step, that is, setting our priorities. What is most important? Most important. Is it financial security? So, if that is it, what do we mean by it? Is that wealth? Is that a Jaguar? Is that 2 or 3 houses? Is it a high-paying job? Or is it enough? Defining enough is tough, but define it for yourself, your situation. In the end, one needs to think and reflect deeply on what is important to you. Then question what in your life becomes complicated and defeats your efforts for what is most important in your life. Then move toward removing or at least limiting those impediments. Ask yourself, what is enough? To live simply can't mean more. I have a set of suggestions here that I read in an article entitled Choosing Simplicity by Linda Breen Pierce, which is about adjusting our priorities, or the way that we can adjust our priorities. One of the things you first have to understand is changing your priorities isn't an instantaneous thing. In fact, this author suggests that it takes up to 5 years to sort of begin to simplify your life. I, by the way, don't necessarily believe that all of these ideas are relevant to everyone, but it gives one a taste of some ideas that might be a way to simplify. First, don't let anything material come into your home unless you absolutely love it and you want to keep it until it is beyond repair. Reduce your dependence on stuff. 2, live in a home with only those rooms that you or someone in your family uses every day. 3, limit your work to 40 hours a week, 20 if you're a parent. By the way, I think this also applies to retired folk, and you just need to sort of have an idea of how many hours you want to spend volunteering in your life. 4, select a home and a place of employment no more than 30 minutes away from each other. 5, limit your children's extracurricular activities to 1 to 3 a week. 6, this is one of my favorites. Take 3 to 4 months off every few years and go and live in a foreign country. Spend at least an hour a week in a natural setting, away from crowds and traffic and buildings. I think that's too little, actually. 8, do whatever you need to connect yourself with a sense of spirit. 9, seek the support of others who want to simplify their lives. That's about building community. 10, practice saying no. Say no to those things that don't bring you inner peace and fulfillment. And by the way, this is the one piece of advice that I honestly chuckled at. I think I was imprinted with the words YES on my forehead at birth. I need to work more at erasing that yes, or at least limiting that yes. That said, living the simple life doesn't always appear to be simple. It needs work. Now, I want to focus on the why of simplicity. One of the gifts of simplicity is also a necessity for living a simple life, and that is attentiveness and awareness. One becomes aware of what is lasting and most important in our lives. We become aware that our possessions have the ability to take over our souls. We become aware of the holy in our lives. We become aware of the significance of relationships in our lives by simply slowing down, by decluttering ourselves of the extraneous. We find what is good in our lives, what gives our life purpose, and what our calling is. When we live a simpler life, our load is lighter. We feel less burdened. We need not live with the necessity for constant busyness. We need not live with the constant striving for more material goods. We can concentrate, we can focus on what is precious to us. How often in our lives today Do we find that we are constantly tired, constantly feeling drained by all that we have to do, by all the meetings we must attend, by all the classes we must take, or in my case, teach, by all the shopping and the buying we must do, all the news that we must watch? Living a simple life allows us to rest, not as in lazy, but rather in moving to a fuller, more relaxed life with a focus on our creative energies. The gift of simplicity builds community. We are bound together. We depend upon each other. We live lives based on mutuality. Simplicity allows us to work together and be together on our journey toward what is essential, the knowledge that we, together, can build a better, more just world. And we can do that by simply sharing ideas, sharing resources, sharing our faith in humanity, and sharing our dreams of the common good. Living simply can turn every day into the sacred. In the midst of the ordinary, we become aware of the holy. Living simply allows us the time and the space to step back and recognize that which is good and right and true. The gift of simplicity enables us to make difficult choices with a level of confidence. Each and every day we have choices that can be beguiling or demanding. It confronts us. They confront us, those decisions. By living simply, we learn how to discern what we can do for ourselves and what we can do for the common good. Choices become clear. The gift of simplicity enlivens the imagination. Slowing down, becoming more aware, our imagination can become more active again. We can do what energizes our hearts and minds and souls. The gift of simplicity helps us see what imprisons us. Are we bound by habits that complicate our lives? If we let go of some of our customary behaviors, our lives might serve other purposes more fully. We can liberate ourselves. Think of habits that limit us. What might be freeing if you let go of it? Living simply means opening your heart to abundant possibilities, to life's serenities, to life's challenges. Life will be less daunting if we live simply. The reality is that even if we simplify our lives, there will be times when we are doing tasks that are not particularly fulfilling, that are downright dull, like doing the laundry, or filling out all those forms that we have to fill out, or waiting in line, or doing the dishes, washing the dishes. Yet, in living more simply, our irritation or our boredom or our frustration is not constant, nor will we find it overwhelming. We place things in perspective. Living simply can open our hearts to the beauty in our lives. It allows us time to be dazzled by our world and by those around us. During the process of simplicity, we are called to clarity. Clarity in how we live and what we value. We become clear about our priorities. We're able to make distinctions about our motives and whether they impact the common good. The gift of simplicity charters a license to create. So very often in our complex lives, we don't create. Creativity is generated from the ability to let something ferment, to take time, to come from within. If we are busy bustling around, how can we let our inner genius out? Altogether, too often we find that our creative impulses are squashed. Remember, as a child, how we were constantly creating? We were drawing, we were singing, we were acting, we were playing. Our lives were creation itself. At some point, however, we lost. No, not all of us, but most of us. We lost it to what we called necessity. The necessity of being successful in the world, of paying the bills, of getting more stuff, as being seen as particularly intelligent or diligent. Of being a reasonable adult in our communities. We lost our ability to let our creative juices flow. Living simply provides the environment, the time to be who we are, which means we can retrieve our creativity. There is a difference between confidence and pride, and it's confidence that comes with simplicity. You have thought through your priorities, you have developed your perspective. It's not that you expect everything will be perfect. You just understand that you have choices about how you live your life and that you are confident that you can handle what comes as a result of those choices. The gift of simplicity enables the heart to open and permits us to explore what's within. We can examine all that we are and all that for which we stand. Enough. We are enough. We are sufficient to the tasks we choose. The gift of simplicity helps people sort out the significant from the insignificant, the little problems from the large. We have a sense of order, of the things being in the right place, of our daily lives suiting the path we wish to follow when we live simply, when we unclutter our lives of things and expectations. The gift of simplicity produces an impulse to support justice. Actually, living simplicity is an act of justice, of using only what is necessary, of setting priorities for our communities so that we can be all treated equally, so that no one goes without. Living simply means having right relationships with yourself and with others, and right relationships lead to justice. The gift of simplicity can be healing. It can be a balm to our wearied and scarred souls. Sometimes simplicity offers the time to heal. And in other ways, the process of deciding to live simply is the process of healing in and of itself. We also stop wounding ourselves with the need to have more or be more. We love ourselves for who we are. The gift of simplicity is a gift of understanding. Understanding who we are, where we hope to go, and what the common good is. Simplicity allows us to become more spiritual, to follow the path toward understanding the mystery of all that is. Simplicity is a spiritual practice, a practice that can lead to a deeper knowing about God, or Goddess, or mystery, or Allah, or whatever or whomever we call holy. When we live life simply, we are gifted with awareness, focus, community, the sacred, confidence, clarity, imagination, liberation, perspective, dazzlement, creativity, confidence, an open heart, sufficiency, justice-seeking, healing, and understanding, to say just a few things there. Living simply is a journey that can be described as abundant, varied, deep, and whole. Let us live simply, and in living simply be graced with simplicity's gift. So be it. I ask now that you rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 128, For All That Is Our Life. Part of our moving toward living simply is to reflect on what is most important in our lives. Know what feeds you. Pick those activities that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. As the song says, "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. 'Tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight." Thank you. We will now extinguish our chalice. We extinguish flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you. A very short benediction. Live simply, go in peace, return again in love. Amen.